You didn't find this. This found you, and that means the protocol has already started. Something in you, not the part you show people, not the part that answers when your name is called. Something deeper already knows that the version of you currently walking through the world needs to be discontinued, not punished, not transformed, not improved, discontinued. This is Ghost Protocol, and by the time this ends, you will either understand exactly what that requires, or you will close this, return to your life, and never speak of what you almost chose. Most people think disappearing means going somewhere else. It doesn't. Disappearing means removing the architecture of yourself that other people live inside. Because that's what you built, isn't it? Over years. A structure, predictable entry points, known reactions, a face that loads instantly in other people's memory without your permission. You became a location, a fixed coordinate, and anyone who knows the address owns part of you. The erasure phase is not about silence or distance. Those are amateur moves. True erasure is internal demolition. It is the systematic removal of every behavior, pattern, and response that makes you readable. You stop being a signal, you become interference. Think of it this way. Every person in your life holds a version of you in their mind. A model built from your consistency, your predictable kindness, your predictable anger, your predictable need. That model is not you. It is a map they drew of you, and they navigate using it daily without asking. The first act of Ghost Protocol is burning that map, not by explaining yourself differently, not by announcing a change, by simply no longer matching the coordinates. You respond where they expect silence. You go silent where they expect response. You remove the data points one by one until the model they hold starts to glitch. And then you remove yourself from the room entirely. Not dramatically. Not with a door slam or a final speech. You simply stop being locatable. Your name, in their mouths, begins to feel like reaching for something on a shelf that has been quietly, permanently emptied. That is erasure. That is the beginning. There are 5 rules. Violating any one of them collapses the operation. Rule 1. You do not explain the disappearance. Explanation is a lifeline thrown backward. The moment you justify what you're doing, to anyone, including yourself, you re-establish contact. You become findable again. The erasure requires total informational silence. No closure, no context. The absence must be clean. Rule 2. You starve the mirror. During the erasure phase, every platform, every photograph, every space where your image exists and circulates goes dark. Not because image is vanity, but because your circulated image is a live signal. It tells people you are still operating on the same frequency, still available, still there. Cut the signal. Rule 3. You allow yourself to be misunderstood. Completely. This is the rule most people cannot survive. When the story others tell about your absence is wrong, when it's ungenerous, when it's reductive, when it is a flat and insulting explanation for something vast and deliberate, you say nothing. You let the wrong story stand, because correcting it means you are still performing for their perception. And Ghost Protocol has no audience. Rule 4. You identify and surgically remove every habit that was built for someone else's consumption. The way you dress when you might be seen. The opinions you hold because they make you coherent to a particular group. The ambitions you perform because they were someone else's idea of what you should want. Each of these is a hook still lodged in the old architecture. Remove them without ceremony. Rule 5. You do not track reactions. You do not monitor who noticed. You do not check. The moment you look back to measure the impact of your absence, you have not disappeared. You have simply relocated your need for validation. Ghost Protocol is not a manipulation. It is not a power play. It is a surgical severance. and surgery does not pause to check whether the patient is watching. Here is what no one tells you about the silence on the other side. It is not empty. When the noise of being known finally stops, when you are no longer managing perceptions, no longer maintaining the architecture, no longer spending energy being consistent for an audience that never asked permission to need you, what remains is not nothing. What remains is signal, pure, undiluted, entirely yours. You will meet instincts in that silence that you have not heard since before the world taught you to be legible. Directions that make no sense in the language of your old life. Desires with no social justification. A shape of self that has never been road tested, never been approved, never been performed for a single living person. You build from that, silently.